So the video today, we're going to show you how to not hit anything on your CNC machine when you're fly cutting the spoil board. As new users, the first thing you got to do after you build your machine or buy your machine is you got to put the spoil board on and you got to fly cut it to get everything nice and level and in tune with the rest of the unit. A lot of people find this to be exceptionally scary, and when it's your first thing you have to do on the CNC machine ever, it's more than scary because you don't know what you don't know. So hopefully this will give you a little insight. I did a demo in the middle of the video that shows you how we go about making sure that bit doesn't go outside of whatever parameters you set. And I'll show you how to set those parameters. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You'll notice down in the right hand corner there's a subscribe button. You can hit that anytime throughout the video, and your subscribing does help our channel, and that's what we do it for. So please like and subscribe. Thank you. Okay, so here's what we got. Our board is, we can come over here and check, but our board is going to be 4.27 inches wide and 36 inches tall, and it is 0.985 thick. It's like basically a 1-inch board, and we got the datum down here in the corner. So this is what I've already made up, and I'm going to show you how we made these. This is the big oval you'll see on the board, and this is so a washer can move back and forth depending where it has to go. And then this is where the M8 bolt goes, and I've made that a little wider so that there's a little bit of play, so that when we slide it in, if it's soft just a little bit, we've got about a little less than about an 1/8 inch of play we can use. So I'm going to go ahead and erase all this, and then I'll show you what we did. So you see all the guidelines I have here. So I knew that when we did this, the board, being that it's 36 inches, the first one went right here at 4 inches. The next one went at 11, 18, 25, and 32. And I know the approximate amount of the center line was going to be one of these at 1.3 and 2.9. So I'm gonna delete all those just to show you how quick you can set something like this up and then make it all work very well for you. So we're going to delete all the guides. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring a guide by a left mouse click and dragging this over, and I'm going to do it on the edge. And I know that my hole's got to be 1.3, so if I right mouse click that and come down to relative to guide, I want to make that 1.3 inches. 1.3, and create new guide. And there's our 1.3. And now I know I need another one at 2.9. So I'm going to close that, come up here again, and I'm going to go relative 2.9. That's from the first side. And we're going to create that guide. So now I've got my two guides for where my holes are going. And then I know that 4 inches from the bottom is where I'm putting my first guide. So the bottom is 0. So I can close that. I can bring a guide down. So there's 0, 1, 2, 3. There's 4. So now I got my first guide set at 4. I can click on that, and I'm going to do these happen to go up in 7-inch increments. So I got 4. So my next one, relative to guide, is going to be 11 inches. Now I'm not sure if that's going to go up or down. If it goes the wrong direction, then I got to do it with a minus. But let's try this first. And it went up, so we know we don't need to put a minus in there. Now, here's what we can do also. I know these are all going up in 7 inches. Let me get rid of this one. Close. I'm going to get rid of that one for right now. So we know we got this one at 4 inches. And I know I want the next one to be 7 inches from that. And I'm going to tell it to select the new guide when it makes it. So I create the new guide, and that brought it up 7 inches. And it selected it, so I'm going to create another new guide. And this was 4 inches. This is 11 inches. This is 18 inches. This is 25 inches. And the last one is 32 inches. So we got all our guides now that we need to lay this out. So the next thing we got to do is create our ovals that we had. And the way I did that, I know that my ovals are, and I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to just bring a guide here off the job. And I know that my oval needs to be 1.2633. So I'm going to go here, make a guide at 1.2633. And I don't want to select a new guide, so just create new guide. So I know my oval is going to fit between there. And I know my oval is going to be, let's see, 0.77 high. So I can select, let's take this guide right here. Close that. I'll select this guide. Well, let's not mess it. Yeah, I'll select that. So I want to go a relative guide up from that, 0.77. Create new guide. Okay, so I'm going to close that. So my new circle, or the oval, needs to fit in this space right here. So I'll go over here and make myself a circle. And I'm going to make that circle the diameter 1.2633. 33. And I'm going to say create. Now, where did it put it? Yeah, I put it down here. Okay. So let me go down here and grab that. We're going to close that. I'm going to grab, let's see here. Where's my tool? Selection tool. So I'm going to select that. And I'm going to move that up here. Oh yeah, we did it right over here. Okay, did I not do something? Okay, I seen what I did wrong. The 1.2633, that was the length. The circle should have been 0.77. Okay, 0.77. Create. Okay. .77. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna take that and put that right in there, and take my other one I made. I'm going to set it over right there. Let's get in. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a straight line between the two. I'm going to come right there and go right there. Escape. Let's do another straight line down here. And escape. Okay, so we've got the makings of our oval here. What I'm going to do is take these scissors, and with any luck at all, I will be able to get these out. And then there's our oval that we need. And now I'm going to select everything here just to make sure. And I'm going to go down here to the join. And we had 4 open vectors. And after we join, we have 1. So we got our big oval made. And now we got to make our little oval. Okay, so our little oval is 0.3409. So I'm just going to come over here to this one. Yeah. Actually, let me just, I'm going to pull a new one down right here. And from there, I'm going to say, give me a guide. And I want that to be minus 0.3409. Create new guide. 0.3409. Route of the guide, and I wanted a minus there. Create new guide. Okay, there we go. Just let me double check that measurement. I think it's there. 0.34. Yeah. Okay. So these are the 2 we're using. And we know it's going to be 0.5 inches. So I'm going to pull one here. And I'm going to get relative 0.5. Okay, so our little hole has to be right in here. So we're going to make a circle that's 0.3409. Create. And where to go? Okay, it's down here. Okay, close. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is hit my control key and pull another one over. Hit my shift key, it should keep it, or is it the alt key? Nope. Okay. Got that one there. Just want to move that up a little. Okay, So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to draw a straight line across that. Start right there. Go to there. Hit escape. Hit the line again. Start right there. To there. Hit escape. And now we'll go get the scissors. Close that. We're going to select the whole thing. Join it. You got 4. We'll end up with 1. Okay. So now we have our little circle. Get rid of those guides. I don't need those right now. Okay. So let's go back and check our lines that we had. We had 4, 7, 7, and then the last one. So all these lines here can disappear. We don't need those lines anymore. So there's our items. So what we want to do, let's start with this big one here. Let me get my thing. Okay, so we're going to take this one. And it's going to go right there. And then it's going to go on this side. So I'm going to hold the control key, drag one down there. Then it's going to go on this side. Drag one down there. Keep holding the control key, drag one there. Hold it, drag one there. So now we have all of our big ovals, and what I want to do is select them from the left here, so that's all we got, and then let's group those. And group objects. Okay, so now we're going to grab the little one, and that's going to go right there. I'm going to hold the control key down. Got it there. Grab it again, put it there. Grab it again, put it there. And grab it again and put it there. So now we got all our fixtures where we need them, and we want to group those. But let's take our big ones and let's right mouse click, and we want to move those to layer. I already had some, but we're going to move those to layer, and I'm going to say new layer, and that's going to be new big holes. Okay, and then I can come up here, turn off new big holes, and now I'll select all the little holes, and we'll group those, and now we'll move those to a new layer, and we'll call those new little holes. And now we're ready to do our tool paths. So we'll go over here, and what we're going to do is we're going to take, let's see, we're going to pocket that. Yeah, we're going to use the pocket. We're going to go down on the big hole. we're going to go down to 0.7. And we're doing that because I needed a certain distance down there left so that the screw was just right to get, the maximum amount of pull with the washer in there. And we're using a end mill. We're going to use an offset cut there, and we can calculate that. Can't continue every way. So there's our holes. We'll preview that. So there's our holes right there. And if we go in here big and if you click here, you can see how much is left of that whole board. We've gone down and now there's only like 0.3 left. So we'll come back over here now to, let's see, that was our big holes, or was that our little holes? Now I don't know. That was our little holes. Okay, we did that wrong. Okay, we got our little holes selected. So we're going to come over here and we're going to do a pocket. We got the end mill. We want to go all the way through, so we're going to go Z plus 0.02 equals, and that's 1.05. That'll get us all the way through. We got the end mill. We're making this in 8 passes. And we calculate. Oh, help if I select them. Calculate. Continue anyway. And then we'll preview. And those went all the way through, you can see. Okay, so now we'll do the big ones. We're going to go up here to layer, turn on the big holes, turn off the little holes. We got them selected. We're going to pocket these. And these we're going down to a depth of 0.7. Because we want a little over like about 0.3 left, using the end mill. And let's see here, we got everything we need, and that should be good. And we're going to go ahead and calculate, and we'll preview those. So there we go, we got our holes. Our washer will fit right in there, and the bolt will go through. And then in the next series, you'll see how we put all these on and finished it up. I know this was kind of lengthy, so I hate to make them that long, but you can skip over it if you already know what we're doing. Otherwise, it may add some value to it. So let's get on and let's start making these and finishing up. And just as a reminder, if you look down in the right-hand corner of the screen, you'll see a subscribe button. You can click on that anytime during the video and you'll automatically get subscribed, and we appreciate it. So let's get on and get these made. Thank you. Today we're going to be replacing my old spoil board. I had these narrower strips all along, and that was so that I had all the different grooves exposed. But I really don't need all of those, so I'm going to a wider board, 4 1/4 inch, and I'm going to show you how we mill all the holes in here, and then we'll replace these, and then I'll show you how we fly cut it. I know a lot of new guys, they give me the question, well, how do I know I'm not going to be banging into the side and cutting my metal or breaking a bit? And we're going to show you how you do that and how you know, to lay out your vectors so that you're not hitting the edges. So stay tuned and we'll get this going. Okay, I have a makeshift jig in here, so I can put this in here. I go all the way up. Yep, I'm gonna tighten this. Okay, we got that there. Tighten that one down. Tighten that one down. Go around here. Tighten this one down. I already know where all my holes are going and nothing's going to be in the way. This way I can do all of them quite quickly. Okay. So I've got to go bring here, I'm going to bring this down. I don't know if you can see it. I'll turn this light on. So when I'm centering, my corner point is here on the end. I have a Crosshair laser that I added to my CNC, and there is a video on how to install that. So all I got to do is bring this, I'm going for this edge right here. Then I'll bring that down slower. See, there it disappears. There, I'm right on it. And then on this one, I'm right on it. And then once I have that, I've got a button on my Mach 3 screen that says Laser XY. And that put that point directly on there. So when I put my large bit on, when I'm doing like the fly cutting or even just cutting these holes, that sets that, right to 0, 0 for X and Y. Quite simple. Okay, we're getting ready to cut another one. Like I got my 2 stationary in this one, so I can just bring this right in. I'm going to bring this over, tighten that down. Put this one here. Get this one over here. Going nowhere. Okay. So we got the X and Y and everything set. Nothing's changed, so now we're just ready to go cut. that's the amount of time it took real time to cut those outer holes and the inner holes. And the time it shows is 5 minutes and 21 seconds. So to do 5 boards, which is what my spoil board will take, you're just a little over a half hour. Okay, now I'll start taking these off. Okay, we got all these off. Yep, these are all destined for the jig pile. Okay, now that we got all of those off, we got to get all these out of the grooves. These are the little things that slide in there. If you're ever going to be putting these bolts in, you want to make sure you have a washer, because it'll pull through. You can't put enough force to hold that down tight without messing up the MDF. And that's why we did the oval hole, so we got a little bit of back and forth room. And as you can see, it's just as wide as the washer. So we can put that in there and drop that in that hole. Yep. Drop the washer in first and drop the bolt in. There we go. And then on the bottom of each one, we're going to put one of these, and we'll just barely get it started. Like one turn is plenty. Put the next one in. You really do got to drop the washer in first. For whatever reason, it just seems to work better. Okay. The magnet's going to come in handy again. Flat side goes towards the top of these little hooks. Magnet comes in really handy. This works so much better than putting them in and trying to get them lined up with your holes. You just do it this way and you got everything going right where it needs to be. And so now I got all those in there and I'm going to slide it on. That one goes in that side. That one goes there. That one goes there. That one goes there. Got that all in place. I got just a little bit of extra gap there. I'll just tighten that one not real tight. So get this in. go. Got to put 3 more on, and we'll have it. This. So all we got to do now is flatten that, get it all perfectly level with by fly cutting it, and we will be done. So what I've done, before I do this, I wanted to show you, because a lot of people are worried about hitting the sides and everything else. So I'm going to do a little test here. And what I did is I've got myself a drawn out circle. I used a V-bit to carve that in. And I'm going to show that when we use a larger bit, it will stop at those lines. Like here's my 0 point down in the corner. And you're thinking, well, there's the 0 there, it's going to stick out. But when you're pocketing it, it takes into effect the size of the bit that you got on there. So I'm going to show you that. And when you are using a larger bit, you want to make sure that you ramp in, because if you just drop it down straight in, it's going to bog down on you. So with that being said, let me get this going. 2 inches is about as big as you can get and still use your I have this one that everybody uses. I use it, but for this demo I wanted to use that one because it's a little easier to understand. Okay, so we're ready to zero that out. I cannot lie, that's always scary when you do that. Okay, so I'm going to run this, and what I'm going to show you is when you do your main board, you always want to come a little bit past. I'm going to do this right to the line. You're going to see that it leaves a little section in each of these corners, and I'll show you what we do to avoid that. But for this demo, I'm going to leave it in there just so you see it. So here we go. Okay, so you can see it cut it right along that line and did a perfect job. It didn't go, even though the bit is twice as big, it knows enough to stop it right at that line. Now the reason we have these down here, because when this comes down, you know, it can't get into that corner without going past the line. So what you have to do when you're doing this, you have to come down about an inch more on your long side, not on the side here where you got metal rails, but on your long side in either direction, and then that'll get those out of there. Okay, we're all set to do the fly cutting. We did, you've seen the drawing that we did in Aspire, and we should just be right on the edges and we should be good to go. So without further ado, let's get this thing rolling. And this will actually do it pretty quickly. So, the corners that I was talking about that I didn't take off, and I'll show you.